Good afternoon, Leah Jorgensen here, and I'm going to chat a little bit about Chinese medicine and how it is utilized, or one way that it's utilized in holistic nutrition. The school I went to not only offered clinical nutrition with a slant in functional medicine, but also offered a traditional Chinese medicine track. And what's exciting about that is that it's 3,000-year-old medicine that has been working for quite some time, but offers a little bit more in-depth look at the whole body as a functioning organ, not just and as a functioning system of organs, not just piece by piece. One of my favorite things to study was the five elements in Chinese medicine. So the moment you are born, you are one of five elements. It never changes. It doesn't adapt as you age in life. It is what it is, and it stays with you forever. And a person who studies acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, or holistic nutrition with a traditional medicine slant will learn the five elements and how to help a client discover which element they are. And it's through a series of questions and tests. So I am a water person, and today I'm just going to offer one quick tip for people who are water people. So many of you might know you're a water person, and many of you might be intrigued to find out more. So here I have my nifty full glass of water. Being a water person, having that as your constitution, has a whole set of characteristics about your health and your overall well-being. And for me, I just want to talk briefly about ways to find balance and energy when you are a water person. So everyone gets drained, and you could generalize about all of the elements and say, well, that's everybody. Everyone has those characteristics, those traits, those issues. But for people who are metal people, people who are earth people, people who are water people, you have things that are very, very intrinsic and specific to your overall health that either throws you out of balance or helps you stay in homeostasis, which is optimal health. So if you're a water person, you often get drained, okay? Your energy gets drained very easily, and you can think of it like water, like a water running through the drain. Stress is very high for people who are water people. And when you think of stress, it really comes across as not just anxiety, but there's a kind of worrying that is associated with water people. And it's not just arbitrary worrying about everything, like I'm worried about I'm not going to make the bus today. It's more about worry as it aligns with your long-term well-being. So if I start this job, am I going to have enough to retire? It's like really looking at the big picture. It's worrying about, am I going to be okay in this lifetime? Am I going to be provided for? Am I going to be able to take care of myself? Now, again, sure, most people experience that on some level, but for a person who is a water person, it is their main crisis. It's their main anxiety. It's their main challenge or goal that they have to work with through a lifetime. It never goes away. So when you know that, and you know you get drained from energy, the organ in Chinese medicine, the human organ that is associated with water, it's a no-brainer when you hear it, it's the kidneys. So when we think about the kidneys, we need to keep the kidneys hydrated, right? We need to make sure water is getting in your system so you can flush out that natural filtration system. So one of the ways for water people to gain more energy and to feel their best and that be in homeostasis is to drink plenty of water. It is therapeutic and it is necessary for water people. Sounds like a no-brainer. But the other piece of that is that water people really, really need to find time to be alone, to decompress, and they need to find time in nature. Now you might be like, that's true for everybody. I feel that way. I must be a water person. Not necessarily, but why it is critical for water people is that when you're looking at your kidneys and you're looking at this sort of need to keep things hydrated, needing water, water's a powerful element. It can cause major natural disasters, right? We have tsunamis. Tornadoes are kind of in a way related with rainstorms, but really, I guess not so much tornadoes, but like hurricanes and anything where water can be destructive flooding, massive flooding, any of that kind of energy. It's very kinetic. It's a very big energy. And on the opposite side, it's also an energy that can be very draining or drained, right? So these are powerful forces. And as a human operating in the world with that kind of energy, again, in Chinese medicine, we are looking at energetics. It can be super draining. You can be exhausted all the time. And when there's too much activity, too many people, if you don't find that alone time, even if it's just 30 minutes, you're going to be in crisis mode all the time, stressed out. So if you are by yourself, live by yourself, great, carve out that time, 30 minutes to an hour, and just meditate, take a bath. You need that every day. You have to find time, a window of opportunity where it's just you having some downtime. If you have kids and you're like, that's impossible, negotiate with your partner and make sure you make that time for yourself. You'll be a better parent and a better partner if you just have some time to unwind. It could be 30 minutes locking yourself in your room, reading a book. I don't care what it is, but find that time for you to decompress. It's very critical for water people. It's important for most people, but it's really critical for water people. The other part of that is you have to find time in nature, and ideally places where there's water. So if you can walk to where there's a stream or go to the ocean, go to a lake, that's ideal for water people. It's not a deal breaker if you go out into nature and there's no water, but it is exponentially better to be out in nature where there is water. And of course, again, it goes into those natural ebb and flow of a water person's energy. And so when you're being so drained by the world, when you go back out into nature where there's water, especially where there's flow, energy of flow, so a river, a stream, an ocean, you have negative ions. Negative ions help implement positive health, positive energy, good health, refreshed energy. It really does help set back in balance and refill the waters for water people. So while you've been drained by the world, going out in nature where there's water with flow, right? Waterfalls, ocean, whatever, wherever there's movement of water in nature, you will get these negative ions that will help refill your water energy level. So it's a great metaphor. So that's just one little thing to note for people who are interested in finding out ways to naturally, holistically find homeostasis, build energy, and feel their best. Of course, there is nutrition that aligns with each of the 5 elements. I didn't feel like going into specifics of nutrition today. I wanted to talk more about some tips to help build energy for people who are, in this case, water people. If you're curious to learn more about the 5 elements in Chinese medicine and to discover which element you are, and if you live in the Portland area, you can certainly make an appointment with me, schedule an hour appointment, and we can go through the process and figure out what your element is, and then I can help you find some lifestyle tips and nutrition tips to help you achieve your best, healthiest, most energized life. Cheers.